Okay, I wanted to do for a long time, and today is the perfect opportunity to do some shadow work. Has anybody done shadow work before? Okay, so I'll explain you a little bit and then we just go there. So shadow, we all have shadow, and we have a positive shadow and a negative shadow, and we have several shadows, obviously. So often a shadow can cause a disconnect with oneself, and according to psychologists like Carl Jung and so, the shadow is the hidden, repressed and guilt-laden personality that lurks in the dark corner of the self, right? And we all have it. So the shadow is usually primitive human emotions that we normally try to hide, okay? It's things like shame, like guilt, like fear, weakness, desires, you know, all these things normally we keep obviously in the hidden because we've been told that they are not right, okay? And often we've been told they are wrong, so we keep them in the shadow. But because of course everybody has that, and some are better at actually identifying the shadow. So while I'm talking, obviously you might be thinking already and embracing it. Some others don't have that. So we're obviously going to work on that one. So if a person does not identify and embrace the shadow, it will haunt and even dominate the self. Again, remember the face and embrace method. So when you face and embrace, far better than, you know, pushing it away. So remember, whatever you do, always work this face and embrace. Same with your shadow. And that causes, of course, a deep disconnect. So let's get in the steps to get this shadow and obviously to work on it. And this exercise, by the way, you can also do in your own time. I will share with you the worksheet. I think I've added also to one, maybe to one of the to the modules, or it's in the plan, I don't remember now. So you can start writing, identify the area in which you most struggle, and it could be an area in general that you most struggle, or perhaps something that we've just been talking recently about, or you know, you just brought to today as well. So it's up to you. So write that down and just write it down on your little paper. All right, and when you're done, then the next point, second point, is identify what you most dislike or judge about other people. And then the next point, number 3, identify what you love most about yourself. That's fun. And now let's get to identifying your shadow. So whatever is the opposite of number 3, so the third one, is your shadow. So basically the opposite of what you love most about yourself is your shadow. So you can write this down. So look at the previous question and write down the opposite of it. And that is likely to correspond with number 1 and 2, with answers number 1 and 2. So basically what you most, the areas that you most struggle and what you dislike or judge about other people. So once you have identified your shadow, you can go out and love and embrace the shadow. So it's not only to identify it, but also, like I mentioned earlier, to learn to love and embrace it. So an individual can cultivate compassion and humility to remembering that everyone has a shadow. So just remember, it's not only you. We all have shadows, me included. I'm also not perfect. The extent that an individual is able to embrace the shadow is the extent that he or she can achieve spiritual well-being. So always, and you can do that exercise over and over. You can do it a little bit general, but you can also do it in a certain area of your life. Remember the wheel of life. So you could look in the different areas, obviously more the areas where you struggle, and you could do the same exercise specifically in that area. So use from there, use your shadow to serve. So, you know, we are going to become more open and vulnerable, and other people will be inspired by us how, you know, we love and accept ourselves. So when we are able to accept actually and love ourselves and accept the shadow, then we are far better, you know, a human being, in fact, and we can give more to other people, and we're not anymore there suppressing an important part who we are, because, you know, we are good and bad. We are yin and yang, you know, it's everything in life is like that. But by actually embracing both sides, that's when we really, you know, kind of getting a spiritual better being. So having the positive and negative shadow, ask yourself now the following questions to identify the positive shadow. What traits do you admire in others? So you can write that down. And if you look at this, what you admire in others is your own greatness that you see in others. So I just want to repeat that and want you to look at it. So what you've just written down is your own greatness that you see in others. You are that, whatever it is. You're probably much more than that. So you might want to even see more or go more deeper into thinking what you like in others, what you admire in others, and that's your own greatness. And the next question is, if you look at this, are you fully expressing it? So remember, it's what you see in others is your own greatness. So are you at the moment, until now, fully expressing it? So remember, change doesn't come from trying to suppress or get rid of the negative part or refusing to acknowledge a positive part. It comes through the power we gain by becoming aware of our positive and negative shadows. So it's really being aware of the positive and the negative sides. So you might have found yourself where you say, true. So some of you might have looked more on the positive side, some more on the negative side. Okay. So it's only when we know our own depth, our unique wisdom, and our unique blindness that we become truly trustworthy to ourselves and others. And that's really when we are authentic and live as our best selves. Not perfect, but our best selves. Wherever you are the best self. So loving and accepting yourself just as you are, shadows included, giving yourself permission to just do that. Start today. There's nothing more empowering that I'm reading. Right. So that was the shadow exercise, which is one of the most beautiful exercises I think you can do. There are a couple of there's the I love you, or I love myself exercise. I love you. Saying that into the mirror is something very powerful, but you could even use that, with using whatever comes up here and say that to yourself in the mirror. Good. Now, I would love to know and get some feedback if you want to share, of course. Maybe, I don't know, you want to share how it was right that the negative shadow was what you dislike most about the others, or the positive shadow, whatever it is. Maybe you want to feedback. I don't know. Anybody wants to feedback?